to welcome an incredible group of Harry Potter film stars to this stage. Are you ready to meet them? Ladies and gentlemen, first, he's the greatest seeker in the world, Tri-Wizard Champion, Bulgarian Bonbon. These are just some of the names used to describe our next guest character, Victor Crumb. Everyone's favorite Durmstrang, please welcome to the stage, and for the first time in a celebration of Harry Potter, Stanislav Yanevsky! Ladies and gentlemen, our next guest lit up the screen as a metamorphosis everyone wishes they could be best friends with. She fought as a member of the Order of the Phoenix and as a young and talented Auror under the tutelage of Alistair Mad-Eye Moody. Please welcome to the stage the talented actress who portrayed Tonks, Natalia Tena. Hello. We first met our next guests at King's Cross Station as the Jokester brothers Fred and George Weasley, ready to board the Hogwarts Express. It wasn't long, though, before their characters turned jokes into jobs, inspiring one of the most outstanding shops and experiences in Diagon Alley. Please join me in welcoming to the stage the actors who portrayed the lovable Weasley twins, James and Oliver Phelps. And we first met the youngest Weasley child as she accompanied her mother to King's Cross Station to see her brothers off as they departed for Hogwarts. She quickly won our hearts and even that of Harry Potter's. Please welcome to the stage the actress who played Ginny Weasley, Miss Bonnie Wright. Hi, Bonnie. Hello, everyone. Once again.
Hello.
So, day and a half has gone by. How has the experience been for the 2018 version of a Harry Potter celebration? Let's start first down here with Stanislav. Stanislav, how have you enjoyed the experience? And I have a question for you because we were talking about this earlier. Have you been sorted into a house as of yet?
No, I am still. Hi, everybody. Yeah, feels good. I still haven't been sorted into a Hogwarts house, but I don't really need to be sorted because I'm from Durmstrang.
True. This is true, but I know we've been trying to convince you to do so all weekend. So have you had a chance to visit both Diagon Alley and the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Hogsmeade?
Oh yeah, we had the chance. Well, I did, and it was absolutely amazing. It's great, you know, this whole thing comes to life, and when you're walking through, you know, it's like walking on set, probably even better. I mean, you see all these people dressed up, and, you know, it feels real. I mean, it is real, obviously. I went on a ride in there. Those Gringotts, I wish they had real money, so you could... or at least a coin. But yeah, it's been fantastic, and you guys just make it 2,000% better. So thank you all for coming out and seeing us.
Awesome. Awesome. You definitely have some adoring fans. So Natalia, how has your experience been? And you as well, you had a chance to make your way around to
Yes, I made my way around. I took the train from Hogsmeade to Diagon Alley. I have to say the trains are in much better condition than British trains.
Okay.
The seats are really nice. I like how they rumble, like taking you along. And you know, I mean, it's magical. It is magic. What else? I still haven't been sorted either. I really want to go to... where is this place that you get sorted? Is there like a...
It's on the website, Pottermore.
Okay, I need to go there tomorrow. That's part of my mission. But yeah, it is amazing seeing everyone and seeing how much the story is still alive. It's amazing.
Did you have a particular ride? Were you able to get onto the rides?
Yes, we did today together with Diagon Alley.
Okay.
I've done the Hulk, which I love. This one, though, I think is actually scarier. There's something about like going upside, like my dress yesterday was like over my face, and I was like, this is interesting. And I was listening to I Will Survive, like, woo, I'm going to be fine, I'm not going to die. So yeah, I think that one.
All right, very cool. Thank you so much. And of course, James and Oliver, you guys have become pretty much a staple of this experience for all the great fans that are out there. So how is it coming back yet once again, revisiting these two incredible theme parks that we have here and just kind of reliving the experience?
It's really cool. I cannot emphasize enough just how much you guys make us want to come back, because like the atmosphere that's here, I'm sure you'll agree, is really cool, and everyone's having a great time. And today I actually came with these guys around. We actually walked going into Gringotts, and that's the first time I've seen all around there with you guys in it. So that was quite special to see. And I saw a young guy trying his spells in the window. It was good fun.
Oliver?
Yeah, as James said, it's cool because I think the last time we saw all that, us three were able to go around it and it was closed. There's no one there. So it's cool seeing everyone's energy going into it and everything like that. But yeah, we just love coming back here. It's awesome.
Love having you guys, for sure. Absolutely. And Bonnie, how has your experience been this weekend, being around with us for a couple of days now? You've been able to get out and see the parks and interact with the fans as well?
Yeah, it's always such a pleasure to be here and meet everyone and hear everyone's stories as to sort of what Harry Potter has been to them in their lives. And I think just to be here and even for us to come back and have a physical space that we can return to that is like coming home to Hogwarts is bizarre, and it feels almost more real than what we had, because what we had were sets that, you know, the facade looks like a set, but you turn a corner and there's scaffolding and there's cameras and cabling, whereas here that world really exists. You can go into a store and you can drink butterbeer. Like for all of us, I remember the first time we drank butterbeer when it opened here. We were as excited as all of you guys as fans of the books. And yeah, to share it with all of you and for it to keep going and for it to pass down. And I think that's cool that you meet young children who are only just getting into it now, and I think that's nice. That everlasting feeling is cool.
So we've all been removed from the movies for several years now, but yet the energy of the fans that are here and the event that we have every year as well, when you come back and you're a part of this for the first time, does it bring you back to the kind of the energy and the feeling that you had of the films? And maybe what was one of your most memorable moments, something that you walked away from you'll never forget as far as being part of this series of the films?
I mean, for me, a big part of it was platform 9 3/4. So to come here and go on the Hogwarts Express is just amazing. And as a Londoner going in through King's Cross Station, it's so authentic and it's so real. And I don't live in London now, so it's almost like a little piece of what that home is to me. And the attention to detail that they when they went upon making the Hogwarts Express, they recorded like certain bumps that you would have felt on that actual journey that you would take up to Scotland, and the detail that were in the movies that often, unfortunately, you didn't really get to see, because they were, you could pick up a prop and actually every page had writing and detail illustrations of what that prop would look like, but you didn't get to see it in the movies, and I think people get to see that detail. So I think all the craftsmanship that went in the movies is celebrated here, which is really cool.
Awesome. Oliver?
Yes, as you say, it's so immersive here that if anything, it's you could fall into that character, I suppose, a lot easier sometimes than say when we're filming on, I don't know, a green screen, which fortunately we didn't do too many of. But I mean, I know I mentioned it earlier, like either today or yesterday, but when the park first opened in 2010, and that was just in like nothing I've ever experienced in my life. It was genuine, I don't know, Beatlemania almost. It was like, tens of thousands of people who'd come to see just a theme park opening. And probably, 10 years before that, if you'd have told people it, they'd have gone, no, they're not. But it really happened, and it was an amazing thing to be part of.
James?
Actually, that's happened here, or?
Yeah, it's some memory that, being here kind of brought you back to what it was like to shoot the films, and something that you just kind of like, oh, I remember this. I remember being here, and I remember being part of this experience.
Every time I come here, there's something happening. One thing that I remember, the last celebration we went to, there was a little girl who was probably about 5 or 6, only about this big, and she was like just looking up at everything, like trying, like full Harry Potter uniform. And I kind of just went behind her and I was like, "What you doing?" And she was like, "I'm just looking at all this." And like that was really cool, because then like we kind of take it for, at least I do. I take it for granted just how everyone in the world knows it, but to see it again, like, or on another continent from where we even filmed the films, and just to see how much it means to the new generation as well is something really special.
So Natalia, this being your first experience here with us with a celebration of Harry Potter, anything stand out from the two different aspects of the parks that kind of rekindle some moments that you had shooting the films, or something that you thought of that you just kind of walked away from with the films?
Well, it's I don't know. I think I feel a bit like some of you guys here in that I didn't get to experience those things. My character didn't go to Diagon Alley. I didn't go to Hogsmeade. I didn't go to Hogwarts. So for me, it's like coming to it for the first time completely. So that's very magical. I love the King's Cross. I live at, I live on a canal boat, and sometimes it's behind King's Cross, so it's very lovely to see King's Cross. It's like, oh, home. But I've got a memory from King's Cross. We were filming there a lot. It was a whole, week, every day going in. And one day I went out, I used to smoke then, and I went around the back, and there was this van. And I turned around and the van was open, and it belonged to production, and there was just 20 owls, and I was like, what do I do? Do they attack? Should I stand still? And I remember being there for ages till a runner came. He's like, Nat, where have you been? I'm like, I'm terrified. What is this? What are these owls? What is happening? So that's a memory that came to mind.
Very cool, very cool. So Stanislav, you were in, of course, one of the films. What was your greatest memory from your experience shooting that particular film and your role in it?
I was actually in 2. They cut me out of the second one. Deathly Hallows Part 1. I came back, but they cut me out. I did film though for 2 weeks. But yeah, let me just go back a few years. I was here for the opening of the Wizarding World. I remember having the 2 dragons, and one of them was my dragon, the red Chinese fireballs. And that, I know, has been now shut off, and something interesting that everybody's been keeping secret from us, and apparently no one knows, so I'm expecting something huge. I don't know. I'm really anticipating. I can't wait to find out what they're going to build. But a fun memory, I was really waiting to do my Quidditch stuff, and I was very happy to get on that broomstick, and I was even more happy getting off it. Because the seat, you had like horse saddles, we had like mini seats, and they were quite painful. So and I had a blue screen, I think it was green at the time, and I had a tennis ball being like whatever they said, for my eye line. So I remember just imagining everything, and then, seeing the stadium actually on screen. That felt enormous. I wish they had a stadium like that real life. That would be
pretty cool.
Very.
All right, thank you so much. So, thinking about the films and the spells, the multitude of spells that were cast in the film, if you could have one spell that you could bring from the wizarding world into the real world, what would your spell be and why? Bonnie, what would your spell be? If you could bring a spell from the wizarding world into the real world, what would it be and why?
I'm trying to sort of make a version of my favorite spell exist in the real world to do something that I want it to do. So my favorite Ginny spell is Reducto, just because it's super destructive and it literally just implodes anything. So I would implode and destroy all the single plastic use that exists on this planet.
Whoa. All right. Taking care of Mother Earth. I dig it. Very nice. Oliver.
I can't follow that. I was going to say Lumos because I'm a fickle for if I'm staying in a hotel room trying to find the light switch. But if it was like right now, you could go Lumos and everyone lights up. So
All right.
yeah, it'd be awesome.
So just bring some light into the into your presence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
All right.
easier than having a torch the whole time. So yeah.
Very good, James.
Can I say a port key?
Whatever you want.
Because like traveling is great, but actual traveling sucks. Because you need to go through immigration, you need to go through security, you need to then get on the plane for hours. And there's always some guy who's got his chair right bound in front of you, and it's like, I haven't got very much leg room, tough. I had a flight in. But yeah, a port key, because then you could just be wherever you want to travel.
All right. A port key. Cool. Natalia?
I think this is a spell that exists. I might be making it up. I feel like it is from the book. Incendio, is that yeah, and that's fire. I think
Sure.
that's nice. I live, like I said, I live on a boat in England. It gets very cold, and I've got a wood burning stove, and having to go and like chop wood at 2 a.m. can be, can be pretty not fun. And so it'd be great to just go incendio, done. Yeah, that one.
That's it. Simple. And Stanislav. Any spell that you could bring into the real world from the wizarding world?
Yes, but under one circumstance,
Okay.
under one condition. Only I can.
You want to
use
say your condition first before you?
Yeah, the condition is that only I can use it.
Only you can use it. Okay. So
Yes, and there is a good reason behind that. I would bring Avada Kedavra into the real world, so I could use that on all the evil that's surrounding our planet and just chase it off, so we can live in a better world.
destroy evil. That's a good one. You just scored points on that one. All right. So we're going to turn your attention actually to each other for a moment. And you get to, in your own words, of course, describe who on stage you think would make the best wizard. Who on stage do you think would make the best wizard
As a person or their character?
as a person?
Oh, I we should say character.
I don't know. I didn't go to school with everyone here. I think, well,
Yes, but you did see the movies.
okay.
Yeah, but then is it character or is it?
That's what I mean, like, as a person,
Is it?
All right, let's
is
go
It
ca-
Tonks and Ginny, or is it?
Let's go character. Let's go character. Who make the best wizard?
Tonks.
Yeah? Oh,
Decided.
awesome.
I can't choose my brothers. I mean,
So
She is an aura. I suppose my character is the youngest
Yeah,
aura.
exactly. You're in. You're in.
She's a bit crap at just generally moving around, isn't she? She falls over all the time, so I don't know. I was going to say you because you seem like your character seems like she's intelligent and strong.
okay.
Not the boys, definitely the women.
Yeah, women for women here.
Oliver, how about you?
Well, I think Crumb is a really good wizard. I mean, 'cause he's a superstar as well. And he still stays in school, even though he's captain of the Bulgarian national team. Stay in school. Role model.
Discipline.
Yeah, discipline, yeah.
All right, Stanislav, who do you think would make the best wizard?
Well, they go as a pack, so I would say the twins.
You guys are just complimenting each other up here.
No, because they bring joy and like all that color into the world. So I think that would be nice. With all, we don't need to be all so serious all the time, and they bring all that, extra jokes and fun into things. So I think they would make great wizards.
All right, very good. And who now? What do you guys think? Tonks? Everybody, on a count of 3, yell it out. 1, 2, 3. I just didn't even understand a word of any of that. Yeah. Come. So hold on. Stanislav says, I heard clearly. They said, come. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, so they all love it. They all love it. So, what would you say as far as moving on from the spells about Patronus? What would be your own personal Patronus that you would conjure up for yourselves? Now we're talking real world. What would your Patronus be and why?
A sloth. Yeah.
A sloth.
A sloth.
And why a sloth?
Well, because I've never seen a Patronus that's a sloth before.
Okay.
As you can see, I like to sit like a sloth. And yeah, I don't know how, if you've got, say, your soul or all the joy in your life being sucked away from you, how quickly a sloth would come to the rescue. But yeah, that'd be awesome. It'd be really like...
Let's hope that the trouble is slow.
Yeah.
Slow.
Slow but steady.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. How about you, Stanislav? What would your Patronus be and why?
Well, I did say earlier a tortoise.
Are you still...
company to his sloth. But if it has to be in the real world, it would be probably an eagle.
An eagle?
Yeah, like a huge, big winged eagle.
Okay.
Yeah, just the power and, the eyesight they have and, just... Yeah, I think they'll be quicker into the rescue. Yeah, maybe he could bring your sloth down.
Yeah, it'd be a lot easier, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
James?
I always wanted a hedgehog.
A hedgehog?
Yeah.
And why a hedgehog?
Well, I've got hedgehogs who live in my garden, like they're naturally there, and they're cool.
Okay.
But I actually did the Patronus test, and I was given an osprey, which is also a cool bird, but I'd still rather a hedgehog.
Okay.
Because if anything bad's happening, I would also just curl up in a ball and wait for it to go away. Yeah.
All right. Great answer, Natalia.
Yes. When you did the test, is it like a personality test kind of thing? Yeah, so it is like the demon. Yeah, like I said earlier when we talked about it this morning, mine, when I did the demon test for Philip Pullman, it kept coming up as a trash panda. So I think that might have to be my Patronus. Or, I'd prefer it to be an otter or a goat. Goats are amazing.
You have a lot of selections here. Goat.
Goat's cheese is great. Have you seen what a goat can do to like a mountain cliff? They can just go up that. They're pretty amazing.
Okay. So safety with speed and agility. And of course, goat cheese.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Bonnie?
Ooh, I love the water, so I would probably choose... It would be a tie between a dolphin and a whale, but I reckon as a Patronus, I think a dolphin would be a bit more intelligent about what was needed. So I'm going to go for a dolphin.
A whale would be a huge Patronus as well.
It would be big. It'd be like, everyone move out of the way, my Patronus is coming through.
Very cool, very cool. So another question that we had, and a lot of these were formulated by some of the fans out there, but if you were, so school is over. Let's say everything is copacetic in the wizarding world, okay? And you graduated school and you all went out and you got, jobs. What would your job be in the wizarding world? Not necessarily from your character, but maybe something that you yourself thought that, if I wasn't an actor or an actress, this is what I might want to do. But what would your job be?
Well, I'm also a musician, so I'd do music. I'd be a magical musician. Or I'd be a midwife. Or have a funeral home. Like, kind of do, get them
You're
coming in and going out and make some money from that in some magical way.
So tell us about your band.
I've got a band called Molotov Jukebox, and I play the accordion. It's a tropical gypsy band. And it's a 6-piece band most of the time, and then when people pay us a bit more extra, we get like 9, and we've got a whole brass section.
So you got to play, we were talking about this earlier, your band played for one of the rap parties, yes?
Yes, we had the rap party, but also for, I think the final was it the final one? Yeah, it was the final premiere as well, which was great, and David Thewlis introduced me. He likes it. He has a good dance and my stuff.
Very cool. What genre of music?
It's like tropical gypsy music.
Tropical gypsy music.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the beats of like kind of South America, but I'd say a lot of the melodies from kind of Eastern Europe, kind of shoehorned, and a lot of Latin stuff because I'm Spanish. So some of it's in Spanish, some of it's in English.
Okay, and what got you into playing the accordion?
I've learned the piano from the age of 3, but then I kind of, after all the exams, I was like, I never want to touch it ever again in my life. And then I did a play with an amazing theatre company called Knee High. You guys need, if one of their shows comes to America, which they do sometimes, just watch out for Knee High. It's incredible. And the director at the time, Emma Rice, was like, everyone needs to pick an instrument. And I saw the accordion. It was like love at first sight. I kind of shifted my emotional attachment from the piano to the accordion.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. That's great. So, James, what job would you have?
I'd say a Quidditch commentator for the radio.
A Quidditch commentator for the radio, aside from running the shop.
Aside from running the shop, but so I'll be on the weekends.
Okay.
Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoons, probably in America. That'll be an amazing job.
Can you maybe, I don't know, take us through a little play-by-play action of a Quidditch match?
Let's hear it.
Oh, I haven't prepared anything, but yep. No, Quidditch coming down there. I'll do it like it'll probably be like a horse race.
Okay.
And then,
because it's fast-paced.
Yeah, so it'll be like,
Sure.
and the quaffle's coming out and he's taking out, but then there's a stitch, and then when they catch Snitch, it'll be like a Mexican soccer game. So like,
All right. For not having anything prepared, that was pretty good.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm available for the World Cup if FIFA are watching. So.
Okay. Oliver?
Yeah, it wouldn't be that.
You do nothing.
I've been blown by snitch. I don't know what I'd be. I would own, because I can say whatever I want. I would own a Quidditch team.
You'd own a Quidditch
I
team.
would own the best Quidditch team in the world.
And
Yeah.
it'd be a family affair because I'd play in the Quidditch.
Exactly.
And then you can commentate about how great our team and I am.
And we'd have Victor, because it would be the best. It's going to be the best. Okay, we're going to have Victor Crumb as our seeker, and
Yeah.
we're going to have Harry Potter as backup.
Can I play on it?
We're going to have Fred and George.
You can
Weasley
play our
speakers.
theme tune.
Yeah, you know how when you go see like ice hockey in
Yeah,
America,
yeah.
and they've got a weird organ lunatic.
He'll come out at the top, yeah.
But it'd be like an accordion the size of a building.
Yeah. And it would release pheromones of some sort.
There you
So
go.
everyone's in a good mood when they get
And
to
the
it.
mascot can be a huge whale.
This is my question. And then we'd have, and then it would be like, like say the Steelers where they play Renegades in the fourth quarter. We'd have the Weird Sisters would play.
Sure.
Halftime show or something like that. But we need a name, so I don't know what it would be.
How about because it's like a fast-paced game as well, you could call them the sloths.
Yeah, the sloths. Yeah. Yeah, it would be irony
have
to
a
the
sloth
nth degree,
mascot.
and the mascot would be a sloth. So every time they score, a sloth would slowly climb the posts.
It'd have to be a small post though, because it's a time game.
But it would
It's
mean
tight,
that
yeah.
the opposing team would just be so mesmerized by this slow movement that we'd just win.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be an accommodating team as well. Like, so the away dressing room would be a small little shoebox thing with like cold water. There'd be gilly water for the home team. Gilly water available in stores. Who wants a gilly water out there, by the way? There you go.
There you go.
So, and also, if you're a season ticket holder at the Sloths, you get gilly water. I'm running away with this idea, but yeah, that would be my job.
So clearly we found out, we know what we're doing for the rest of 2018.
Yes, you do. And you would, so that would be your job. You play.
I mean, yeah, Quidditch. I'll stick with what Ginny gets handed. I reckon that would be fun.
Sure. Why not?
I mean, if I have this team to play on,
There seems that there'd be a lot of perks because
Yeah.
it'd be all in the family. So that'd
I'm
be good.
actually contractually obliged. It's not my choice. I've been signed up.
Yeah.
Since
Yeah.
day one.
Yeah.
So Stanislav, would you receive would you be welcome to the offer to be the seeker on the Weasley Quidditch team?
The Sloths,
The Sloths.
the English Sloths. Yeah.
That would mean that I would remain a seeker for the rest of my life. So you would need to implement a spell on me to keep me young. Otherwise, I would have to be the coach of that team.
I mean, we could. There's potential. We can.
Could be, but we've already heard that there's someone who's got the death spell, so we could just hold you hostage with that.
Oh, that's easy then. Then we can use.
There we go. Yeah.
We can talk under the table stuff. Yeah. Do some business. So Crumb will be also a businessman.
We can see him going into the opposing team's locker room. And today's game, you will lose. You will lose.
Oh, you
All right.
must lose because.
There's always consequences to something.
He has your puppy.
Because we have a killer whale as a patronus.
So, we've got so many great fans out here as well. And you mentioned there was a great fan experience that you had earlier. But, starting again with you, Stanislav, what has been the most interesting fan experience that you've had with some amazing fans, which, of course, we've got several thousand of them here. You guys having a good time? So, fan experience, what has been your most unique that you can remember?
Oh, well, there've literally been thousands. I mean, like, life stories, how Harry Potter inspired them to keep living on. I was once in Holland, and I had like a very long stay over, and I came out the airport. I was in trouble after that, but doesn't matter. There was a young girl who wanted to see me, and I went out the shop, and she was all wearing dark clothes, and she showed me how she tried to kill herself. She was cutting her arms.
Oh, my.
Yeah, she tried to kill herself, didn't have success. And then the day that she was going to jump off a bridge and end her life, she saw Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. And she said that she saw me, my character, and that something gave a spark to her. So, she wanted to carry on living. So technically the film saved her life. And this is one really, something that stayed with me for years. This was 2006, I think, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's certainly an interesting story. Yes. Natalia, interesting fan experience.
I've had a similar one to him actually as well, where I wrote an email back to someone and they said that affected them. But I've got an amazing, weirdly, I met this amazing woman at a premiere, and she was a massive Harry Potter fan, and because of how she was and how amazing she was, she told me that when she was going through surgery, she couldn't. She's a singer. She couldn't speak, and she was told that she would never be able to sing again. So something about someone came up. She's in her 40s, and someone came and brought her some Harry Potter, and that kind of saved her. She was chatting to me at this party, and something about her and how she survived that means that now she's one of my best friends in the world. And like whenever I go back to London, I go and take a bottle of Prosecco. We kind of hang out for hours. I love her, Johnny. I'm going to go buy her a Gryffindor t-shirt
right.
before I go back. Yeah.
I love that. That's a fantastic story. James.
Yeah, a lot of cool ones. To be honest, it's just hearing people's stories about like when we met once a guy who was there at a signing table, and he had his wife with him and little girl, and he said our first date was the first film.
Wow.
And that was the first date they ever went on, and then subsequently it all went well. They got married, they had a little girl, and they were, the new generation was there as well, so that was pretty cool to hear.
Awesome. Oliver?
Yeah, it's. I think the amazing thing is like the diversity of the fan base is insane. I remember being in Sydney, we went to a heavy metal bar, and there was a guy working there, and he was covered in tats, just covered in it. And he goes, my first tattoo, and he rolls up his sleeve, and he had the dark mark tattooed there, and he was really into it, like completely into it. So you can go from, say, that heavy metal bar to when we were at Celebration about 4 years ago, bumping into a sports guy who was really into it, Kobe Bryant. Just drop that in there. And he's a massive Harry Potter fan, and he knew everything what was going on. He was I don't know who was more excited to meet who, but stuff like that, just the diversity between everyone is awesome.
Awesome. Bonnie?
Yeah, I feel that there's so many that it's hard to sort of remember them or document them in any way. And just a second ago, I was over in the expo that's happening somewhere in that vicinity.
Yes.
And soon to be, there's going to be the 20 years of celebration of the books being published. So where the Scholastic publishers have their sort of setup, they have this wall that's being completely covered every day that they're sort of then turning the canvas, so there's a whole other wall, but people can basically write in any color they want about what Harry Potter has been to them, and just sat reading them, and it's just so incredible, the different stories that have been put down in just a few words. And I feel like I've never had that, like read something like a wall. And I was saying, are you not going to run out of wall space, or how are you going to continue this on? And they said that they're going to make it, I think, a virtual wall, essentially, that you could write down what it has been to you. And I thought that was really special. I don't know if you're ever feeling alone, you could maybe go virtually on this wall and read about other people's stories. So that'll be cool. So hopefully they make it a virtual wall, or if not, while you're here, go write it down and tell your story.
Very awesome. Thank you so much. Now you're in the film industry as well. You've been directing, you've been doing some writing as well. When you think about the Harry Potter films and what they mean to fans, why do you think that this particular series has made such a lasting impact and created not only, the current fans of the films that they were, but new generation of fans? Why do you think that is, and how does that reflect on you as an inspired filmmaker?
I think it all, it comes down to the creator that's Jo Rowling, and I think her intelligence that's in the novels and in the world is so richly complex with references of things she loves. That's mythology, astrology, herbology, all those things create so many layers that enable. There's so many sections that everyone from any walk of life can be interested in. So there's like an angle that anyone can take. And I think often we read so many stories that can be incredible and great and entertaining in their moment, but they don't have that complexity. And I think she does that so beautifully. And I think that was what's so fun in terms of filming, in a sense of being inspired as a filmmaker, is that I was able to watch like every department on like overdrive do their job. Because on Harry Potter, even though you had production design and people making props and costumes, it was almost like movie making on overdrive, because there was so much to do that it was kind of an intensity of stuff that you just couldn't not absorb and be inspired by. And it's just her mastermind behind it. So yeah, I don't know. There's just always something more that I like don't know. I mean, even like while we've been here, we've had like certain quizzes of certain questions of stuff, and you're surprised that she managed to like make up names for everything. Like I learned it's all different broom names today. There was like Shooting Star and the Nimbus 2000, all those ones we know, but just all the, I don't know. You can see there's such joy on all the things that she named and made, and that's cool.
That's awesome.
I don't know if that answered your question.
No, it did.
Went on a rant.
Most certainly. So we've got time for one more question for everyone on the panel. And we know that, of course, you're all in your own right fantastic actors, and you're carrying on with your lives after the series finished. But, thinking about your involvement specifically in the films, is there anything that you can think of that you'd say, you know what, I learned this about myself while I was shooting the films? Or because 3 on the N, you started when you were children, and you grew up with the films, but you were an actress before you started this. What was one thing for this particular series itself that you learned about yourself? Patience.
Yeah, on set. I think because of all the kind of elements that have to go into the detail and the amount of work that has to go into the scene, and because it's so magical, as an actor, I would come in sometimes for like 2 weeks, every single day at 4 a.m, and not do anything all day. Like leave at 8 at night, with your full makeup, and like getting used to like putting your adrenaline and your character on hold, and you had to do it so much. And at the beginning I was like drinking loads of coffee and smoking loads of cigarettes, and then by the end I was like, I'm gonna learn cross-stitching, and I'm gonna learn to breathe. And that's a very good tactic, because, I can now go anywhere in the world, and it's like, it doesn't matter how long something's gonna take. I've kind of learned how to press pause and not let that get to me.
And were you this way throughout your career, or when it just kind of came to this particular role and I guess the demands that they had for this role? Were you that way all the time before this experience?
Well, before that, you never had to wait as long. I've never had a film where you have to wait.
Okay.
It's not that kind of thing because of all the, like I said, all the pieces that have to be just right for the scene. You know, usually you do a scene. I don't know. You know, when you do a series, sometimes you do 8 pages in a day, for example, of dialogue. Whereas in this film, I don't know, sometimes like half. I mean, half a page, if that, and it's just such a longer process because so many things have to be right for it to be perfect for you guys to see it, and for the world, you know, J.K. Rowling's world to be done justice. But for an actor, you know, coming from a very different world, especially theatre, that was very hard. That was a hard transition. And so now when I do films, like I sometimes get runners like, "We're so sorry, we're running late." I'm like, "You're fine. I've got this. I'm good. It's fine."
Awesome. Thank you. Stanislav.
Self-confidence, because I always had that thing, you know, standing up in front of a big crowd and having a microphone without having my hands shaking and being all nervous. Now I just enjoy it. I have fun. I interact with the crowd, and you know, self-confidence. You know, when I went filming, when we were filming The Maze, I remember there were 4 cameras, and I didn't know which camera to be pointing my attention to. And then Peja, who was Karkaroff, came and said, "What's your problem? You know, you're nervous." And I said, "Well, 4 cameras, you know, which one's mine?" And he said, "It's not your job. Your job is to act, right?" I was like, "Well, yeah. You've got cameraman whose job is to capture you. You've got, you know, people responsible for sound capture. It's their problem. Your thing is to act." So, you know, I learned how to sort of switch off things.
Sure.
And then just, you know, go ahead and do it.
And which built, as you were saying, your self-confidence.
Self-confidence, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. James.
A similar thing, to be honest.
Yeah?
When we started, I was 14, and I was the kind of guy, if I was given a part in a show, like a school show, for example, I'd be happily right at the back, not doing anything. Like it didn't really. I was nervous, I guess a lot of it was, but then playing a part like Fred and how Fred and George are they're the class clowns. They're the guys who want to have a laugh and be center of attention. And slowly doing that, like you come to want it more.
Sure.
And like Stan was saying, like this kind of thing originally would really scare me, like being in front of all you guys. But since doing that, it kind of taught me to just embrace it and smile a bit more. Not that I wasn't happy before now, but actually genuinely smile a lot more. Kind of makes you feel happy as well. So yeah, that I guess.
Nice. Oliver?
I suppose because when we first started, we were so young, so you kind of take it as a novelty, I suppose, in a way. So you're on set and you do, not necessarily mess about, but you're kind of, you know, having a bit more of a joke about it. And then as you progress, and I suppose you just adapt this in your life, whatever you're doing, do your best at it. And that relates to anything. Well, I remember going, I had to do work experience at school. So I went to work in an office in a city. And just adapting that, I was 16, but I did whatever it was they asked me to do, I did my best at it. And they offered me a job afterwards, and I said, "No, I'm fine. I've already got one." And they were like, "Well, go." But yeah, with anything, so not just acting, but whatever it is, do your very best at it. And that way, I found myself I could sleep better at night because I knew that I didn't leave anything else elsewhere.
That's great. Thank you so much. And Bonnie.
I couldn't decide between 2 things. One, I always really loved, I just loved Ginny's character. I loved that she was so, growing up in a family of all those boys and still actually not going to the kind of rebelling and getting that real feminine side of her. Like I was a tomboy when I was younger and she is one. And I think it was realizing like that's okay and that's cool to keep that element. So I think just, to sort of take on whatever role or way you want to be or whatever you're into is cool, and there doesn't have to be a feminine or a boyish side to it, and it can be whatever you want that to be. And then I guess I just realized I love film and I love cinema, and yeah.
Awesome. Well, listen, this has been an amazing evening. Did you guys have a good time out there? We want to thank all of our guests. How about giving them a big round of applause? Stanislav, Natalia, James, Oliver, and Bonnie. It's been a privilege to have all of you here with us tonight and as part of a weekend here of a celebration of Harry Potter 2018. Many thanks and appreciate everybody for making the huge trip out. If you're local, if you're from another country, make some noise for yourselves. And be sure to check out the schedule of other great activities this weekend. On behalf of Warner Brothers and Universal Orlando, ladies and gentlemen, good night and be safe. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.